Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Wayne. I'm from GoPasar, and happy Tuesday afternoon to you all. How are you guys doing? I see some of you are on live right now. If you are live and can see my face speaking, do say yes. Just have me click a yes button so I can aware that you can listen to my voice. Just type a yes. Good stuff. So today, you know, this is the first time that we have this Facebook live session with Sing Si Soon on the introduction on floral arrangement kit. So for those who are online right now, maybe you can share me if you are have you done the floral arrangement before? Is this a very first time that you came across about this? Type a one if you this is the first time that you exposed to floral arrangement. Just type one. Okay, so now let me just do a quick introduction before I hand over to Gracelyn. Okay, so Singsi Soon is a homegrown family business founded on floral and landscaping, and he has been founded since 1879. And the company has built a wide range of clientele, and now is in the fifth generation, and held by Gracelyn. So Gracelyn today will be with us today, going to share more about the floral arrangement kit. Yeah, something that you may clueless about what is it like, and so Gracelyn will be here to debunk the five myths of treating your cut flowers. Especially for Sing Soon, the current mission is to developing new products with activities to engage you guys in the comfort in your own homes, especially during the current circuit breaker. Yeah, and Evan is looking for some new hobbies. Hey, hi, Peter Tan. Good afternoon. Hello to you. And hi, Hui Ting. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now, without further ado, I am going to invite Gracelyn to be online. Just give me a second. Hi, Gracelyn. Can you hear me?
Hi. Hi, Wayne. Yes, I
Hello.
can. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, I can hear
Yes.
you. So Grace
Awesome.
Lin, right, is actually is a professional in the forest. So I mean, do ask questions. Take this time, to find out more about floral arrangement. And now I'll pass to Grace Lin to introduce what is floral arrangement and yeah, here you go.
Well, for today's hi everybody. Thank you for coming on and joining us this for today's session today. Essentially, what we have done is we've prepared five ways to debunk the myth that you may be wondering what is wrong with treating your cut flowers. As well, we've prepared some tips to how you can prolong the life of your cut flowers and make the best out of values. So I'm just going to jump into it, and after that, we've also put aside some fresh flowers that you can see, so you can relate to the kind of flowers that you actually see in the supermarkets or like in a florist. So I'm going to start off with nowadays, when you go into supermarkets, you also can buy small bundles of flowers. They usually come in like a single varietal or like a mixed varietal. Compared in the past where you can only walk into a florist or a garden center to buy your cut flowers, right? So people have this impression that because it is at the supermarket, it's being replenished every day. So number one, that's a myth because they replenish according to how quickly their stock go down. So sometimes you do get very old flowers in the buckets. So when you pick up your bundle of flowers, it's really important for you to look at the bottom of the stems, and if they're slimy or murky, please do not pick them up. Those are not fresh. Okay. So I would also like to share with you that as I'm working at the space, and I do have people ask me about what should they add to the water to make their flowers last longer. And the three common things that people do tell me is they add Panadol, they add Sprite, or they add sugar to their water. So this is a big myth as well, because in our climate, sugar and Sprite tend to draw ants. So you do get little friends crawling up to your vase if you add a lot of Sprite or if you add like sugar into your water. You should technically buy the flower food. So in the flower shops or in the florists, you usually see little sachet that they sell you. They are called flower food, and essentially they a good combination of sugar, bleach, and acid. Because what happens is our water that we put our flowers in are tap water, right? And tap water is alkaline. So what the acid does, it makes it a little hostile for bacteria and bugs to breed in the water. And what the sugar does is it adds has a little bit of food for the flowers, and then you have bleach. So bleach in small quantities is okay for your flowers. They may fade the flowers a little bit, so you can have a very bright colored lily. And if you add a bit of bleach over the few days, you tend to see they fade a little bit. So that's fine, but be very mindful to use very small quantities. So a good benchmark is, you know, the cap in the big bleach bottle. I would say 1 liter of water, you do one small capful of bleach, and that would help your water stay quite clear and you don't have bacteria breeding in them. And later on, I'll show you I'll share with you some tips on maintaining the clarity of your water. Okay. So another myth I have prepared for you to debunk is copper. Have you guys heard of adding little pennies or like copper coins into the water to help maybe like your tulips stand up straight, or people think that it helps your flowers last longer? So copper essentially is a chemical compound that kills fungi, is a fungicide. However, because how do we get all these copper coins, right? It's because we travel and we collect them and they're in our change bag for months, for years. So they are very dirty and actually contain a lot of bacteria. So please do not put copper coins into your water to try to get your flowers last longer. It does not work. So that's a big no-no. Okay, so the third myth that we're going to debunk is buddy flowers. Okay, so this is what I mean by buddy flowers, very close flower, yeah, compared to an open flower. So people have this impression that the buddier your flowers are, the fresher it is. But essentially, that's not true, because what has happened to that buddy flower, there might be a possibility that it is not drinking enough, that it doesn't take enough water to hydrate for the flower to bloom. So there are some times where you go to pick up your flowers and you're only choosing buddy flowers, and you take them home and you put them in water, and the day after they start to wilt. It is because you do not judge the freshness of your flowers by the buddiness of it. So this is a myth that a lot of people have, and this is how they choose their flowers. Please do not choose your flowers. Ask your florist or ask somebody at the shop that you want to pick the fresh picks, and have them recommend you what has just come in the day of, or very recently. So I'm up to my fourth myth now that I would like to share with you guys to debunk is using hairspray. I do not have any one of you heard of it, but I have a lot of customers that come to me and say, "Oh, Grace, I really like how you've made this arrangement, and I like to preserve it in this form and this shape. So I'm just going to take a big can of hairspray and I spray it, right? That's going to help it stay in shape, right?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, please do not use hairspray on your fresh flowers, because it really kills it and stops it from like breathing." People do use hairspray when they want to preserve their bouquets and dry their flowers. So that's really helpful, because what the hairspray does, it allows your flowers to not shed as much. So such as your roses or your cassia or your baby's breath, when they have the little flowers that tend to shed a little bit, you could add hairspray at the end of their lifespan. So when they're starting to go and you want to preserve this, maybe because it means something to you, or like somebody special has given it to you and you want to keep it for a long time, you hang it upside down and you spray the hairspray on it so that the flowers don't all shed. That is when you use your hairspray, not when you're treating your fresh cut flowers, yeah? And lastly, the myth that I want to debunk is, do not place your flowers in the sun. I think it's really important, especially in Singapore. So you may be reading all these Western magazines that go like, oh, for your roses to bloom beautifully, for your lilies to be open like a stargazer, like the Casablancas, big and bright, put it in the sun. But our sun in Singapore, because we are geographically located near the equator, is very hot for flowers. It does not work. So do not place your flowers in our sun. But what you can do is you can cut the stems and you can place it in a vessel of warm water. Not boiling water, but warm water. So what happens is the temperature of the water that's hydrating your flowers will cause your flowers to bloom a little quicker. So that is the last myth I want to debunk for you guys today. I've also prepared two tips, very important tips that I think it's very helpful for you to get the best bulk of your fresh cut flowers that you buy from anywhere. So cutting your stems before you put them into water is very critical. I cannot emphasize enough. It is because at the bottom of your stems, there's little pores, right? Can you see them? Yeah. So what happens is when you travel with this, the pores, and they are not in water, the pores closes up. So when you don't cut them and you just put them as is into water, they don't hydrate, they don't drink. So what you literally need to do is you need to cut them so it exposes a new fresh layer of pores that can drink. And why initially when I recommended using flower food instead of substituting home remedy like the Panadol or the Sprite or the sugar is because they have the right amounts in those packets of flower food. And when you put them in the water, it prevents like air and bacteria from, so it feeds your food and it prevents like air and bacteria from clogging the pores. So every time you want to change the water, what you need to do, and I recommend you to do it every maybe 2 or 3 days if you want to enhance or prolong the longevity of your flowers, is to change your water every 2 or 3 days. When you take them out, take the whole bunch and you snip them just a little bit, just half an inch or just a little bit, so you can reopen this layer of like pores at the bottom of the stems, because essentially they are the doorway to the vascular stem of your flower itself. It allows your flower to take in the right amount of water or food that it needs to stay fresh and looking good. Okay. Lastly, I would like to share that, and I'm train of thought. Um, okay, yeah, I remember now. So when I have people that buy flowers from us, and maybe they're traveling just across the road to the house, and they said, "Oh, can you please put cotton wool for me?" And I said, and I do ask them, how long will you be traveling? So I want you guys to know, and I would like to share this, your flowers will stay fine from the time you leave the shop or the space that you buy it from for a good 1 to 3 hours. It's absolutely fine. It's not fine when you leave it in a cart under very hot sun and it will completely wilt. But if you're just transporting them, if you're just carrying them, they're absolutely fine. Because the key is right before you put them into water, you got to snip them a little bit. So that's what you need to do. You just need to snip them a little bit so that you are able to hydrate, open up the layer of pores for them to hydrate. So there are people that say, oh, Grace, we see people that stick stems in water and cut the stems in water. For me, I think it doesn't really contribute much to the stems hydrating. You're just reducing the amount of time that they are exposed to the open where they can dry out. So they're permanently in water, but just a few seconds. So literally when you take it out and you cut it and put it, it's just a matter of seconds. That works as well. You can cut it at an angle, because what it does is it gives it a larger surface area that your flowers can drink up the water. There are people that remove all the leaves. I do recommend you to remove leaves right up to where you put your water, because leaves actually help with the uphold hydration of your flowers. So if you remove all the leaves, it's harder for your flower to drink the water. So if you leave some leaves at the top of your flowers, it's a good way to enhance and increase that suction that you would hydrate your flowers. So that's what I have to share with you in terms of your tips and like how you can get the best of your fresh cut flowers that you buy. I think because nowadays it's very common, right? You go to even some gas stations do carry fresh cut flowers. So there are people. I'm really happy that the supermarkets have made it available for end consumers to be able to grab like some fresh cut flowers to bring in their home. It's the perfect and easy way to bring some cheer to your space. However, I think there is some capacity they can work on to make sure that the water in the buckets are changed consistently. But you as an end consumer, when you buy the bundle of flowers, so pick it up and always check and make sure your stems are clean, it's not slimy, and and that's how you can bring a good bundle of fresh cut flowers home. Okay, so I hope everybody get understands, and like if I'm talking too fast, please ping us, direct message us. If you've got questions, I'm happy to help you with it. I'm just now going to show some of these varietals that the supermarket do carry. As I mentioned, they usually come in like single varietal, in small bundles, or mixed varietal. So very commonly, they do come roses. So some packages that I've seen have they are not processed. So you have the whole flower and you have the thorns. And some of them actually already have the leaves stripped off. So what you need to do is when you put your flower into your water after you cut them, the leaves that are in the water needs to be removed because what happens is it contributes and it is a catalyst for your flowers for the water to grow bacteria and become murky. So you need to remove it so you have it nice and clean. But we've actually built a kit and we've got good instructions in our kits that we've launched with how you can process your flowers before putting it into arrangements as well. So this is a rose. And what people tend to do is when they see the outside petals of the rose bruised, they think that this is not a good rose. But essentially, these are protective petals. So what you can do is you could just remove them. So what you do is with your thumb and your index finger, slowly apply pressure and you just need to put it out. So I'm going to take this. And so you remove the protective layer of petals. And what it does is it allows your flowers to bloom better as well. So you see, right? So these are all, so it's not that the flower is bad or it's not fresh. It's just the layers that's on. You just need to take it out, snip it, put it in water. This will bloom very beautifully. We have carnations as well. Yeah, so just now I showed the buddy one and I showed this. So these are very commonly found flowers in the bundles that you see in the supermarket. So here's a little tip, okay? So you could actually get a buddy carnation like this to look like this in a matter of like seconds. So what you do is, same with your index finger and your thumb, you apply a little bit of pressure and you use your fingertips and you brush it open. You brush it open. Yeah. So, ta-da! So like if you have a dinner party and you need your flowers to be absolutely in full bloom or looking big and pretty, so putting them in warm water, just now I said is one of the tips. Or if you buy carnations, you could just like brush them open. Doesn't apply to most flowers, only carnations, because like roses like this with more delicate petals, they tend to bruise, so you can't really touch the top of the flower. And okay, so this is another one that's very commonly found in supermarkets because they are very popular. They are easily grown, so there is a big supply for them. They come with this plastic on top. I've been to homes where people have the plastic remain, so it's actually folded up so that in the package the flowers are not bruised. So what you need to do is you could just remove them, and you can see your flowers. Yeah, so you do need to remove them. I've kept this part of the stem. So I've left this gerbera in the water for about 3 days. So if you look carefully, you see this little stuff? This is from bacteria in the water. And gerberas is one of flowers where it has a hollow stem. Yeah. So this is the kind of stems that would tend to go slimy and murky quite quickly. So that's where the chlorine, the bleach really helps. So when you get like a bunch of gerbera daisies, I think bleach is quite essential to help your water stay clear and your flowers to last as well. So like I said, change it every 2 to 3 days. So I do have orchids as well. So this is also like I see them in packets of white. They come in nice purple. So there are people who put, they cut the stems, they put it in water. If your bloom is in water, what happens is it becomes transparent, and that's where it rots. So if you are putting it in water and maybe your vase is about yay high, and all you need to do is to just remove the orchid and make sure that the stems in the water are completely clear. Yeah? So then we have like chrysanthemum, same thing. This is very common. They come in white, purple, yellow. Same thing. Remove the stems. That's going to be water, and then cut them and put them in water. Okay. Lastly, I have pounds. So I think in Singapore, we have a large community of people that buy them to pai and go to the temples, or like for Qingming or maybe put in their altars at their home. So sometimes at the supermarket, what happens is you get like stems with no flowers on them. It's because the top of the flower has just dropped off. So it's not like it's a bad flower. It's not like you cannot pick up this bundle. What you need to do is you just need to remove, right? Just remove the stems without, and this is just as good. And then when you want, and you cut it sharp and you hydrate it, and these flowers will open up very beautifully. These are one of the longer lasting flowers that you can find in the market. So they last you about 5 to 7 days if you cut them, preserve them, hydrate them properly. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful. Has there been any questions, Wayne? I'm ready to hand it over whenever.
Oh, I think this is very awesome, especially when for newbie like myself, right, is something like, wow, this is something that have never seen before. So maybe I can just put out guys, I mean, if you have any question,
Wayne, I can't hear
pre
you.
sorry, no worries. Let me just put out my screen right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm
Ah,
here.
yeah.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so this is actually the flowers that Grace has mentioned about. If you guys have any question, right, please drop your message right now. It's because it's very rare to have Grace to have a Facebook live session with everyone, and in fact, this is the first time for me and for her. I mean, and Xingxi soon to have it. This normally this kind of workshop needs to be charged, but this time around we give it for free for only especially for you guys on GoPasar. So Maria has a question. Does the peeling of protective petal apply to all flowers?
Not all flowers, only roses, because they have that layer. There are some flowers like ranunculus or peonies. Peonies also have a protective layer.
Hmm.
And what you need to do sometimes when you buy, because peonies are relatively expensive, they retail about $12 to $15 a stem.
Hmm.
So when you buy them, and sometimes people get very disappointed because they put them in water and they don't bloom over the next 2 or 3 days. If
Hmm.
you remove the protective layer outside, I don't have a peony as a demonstration, but I'm happy if you were to DM our company and I could send you a picture of like, or a short tutorial to how to remove the protective layer. It will allow your main petals on the inside to bloom. So that's something I do have a, yeah, if you Google peonies, you will see the little green at the bottom. Those are the protective layers. So if you remove them, your peonies will bloom almost within the next day or so.
Okay, good stuff. And I see there are some who just joined. Hi, I mean Kylie and Joshua as well. Wow, that's good. I mean, so many of you are. I mean, especially on Tuesday afternoon. I thought it's a lunchtime, right? So, cool. So, Grace, I hear that that you guys are having only the limited time and. The only time that you guys are offering this really special deal to our Go Bazaar community and members. Maybe you can share with us more.
Okay, so over the circuit breaker, we've worked really hard. We've launched kits that our end users are able to create at home and maybe with their little ones, and or maybe make a gift. So it started out with having people have some flowers in their home. So we built a kit that has very clear instructions, seasonal picks. It comes with a pair of clippers, as well as a upcycled jar that you could use to put your flowers. So just for GoPasar community, we are running them at, yeah, it's at $65 a box, and then we have a video that I will do a demonstration, and I'm happy what was the inquiry just now about peonies? I could bring peonies back on Saturday, and we could demonstrate with that as well. So I'll do like a slightly bigger version to show how you can use this kit and you can create your own floral arrangement at home. Yeah.
Good. I hear that this is normally right for those who are keen to to find out more about this floral arrangement. Right, typically I believe Sensation you guys actually have organized workshops when before prior to COVID on the spot, right, at CMA, right?
Yes.
And that normally that needs to be like charged, I think, quite a sum of money. So for this time round, I mean, I am and we have been doing our best, with Grace Lin, we negotiate to get the best deal for our GoPasar community. So here is what she said shared, right? So today, right, by getting this product, the floral arrangement kit with Sensation on our GoPasar portal or marketplace, right, you will get the limited time offer upon purchase. This is the only time that we have this, the online floral kit arrangement workshop, which is the extended version of today's session. Today's, I mean, Grace just share only maybe 1% of her 基本功 or her 功夫, right? She probably still have much more to share in this workshop. Normally, I would say that customer will spend another 30 to 50 bucks for the after purchase and get the workshop itself. But now we are giving this complimentary. Okay,
We
so
do have master classes that, yeah, so they
yeah,
usually start about 50, they go 50 to 80 to 100. So there are different modules, and we have plans to do, to launch like academy where people can get certification through
mm,
us. So
mm,
that's in the pipeline. So we're quite excited when this COVID is over for us to reopen the experiential garden center. So in the
yeah,
meantime, I
yeah.
think it's great to buy the kit. I look forward to the consumers that purchase the kit so that I'm able to share more. I hope today was helpful with the little myth that, with the little tips as well as the myth that we've debunked in treating your cut flowers. I hope everybody enjoyed this session.
Yeah, okay. So you can grab this, I mean, the so-called the box itself at our Go Bazaar. This is the so-called the so-called the web link. Let me put on the comment section so you guys can go straight there and make your purchase. Take note that Grace is keen to have this online workshop on this coming Saturday. Okay, on this coming Saturday. Uh we look forward, right, in this offer only limits for next 72 hours until Thursday midnight. Okay, so if you guys want to be part of this online floral arrangement workshop with Grace, who is very experienced in this arena, do get this offer right at the marketplace right now. Limited stock available. And typically, I heard from the recent Mother Days, right? It has been sold out, right?
We did have the starter kit, but we also came out with a bundle because,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, you introduced us. Since Soon is a homegrown business, we believe in supporting local initiatives. So we actually had a collaboration with Madam O, which is a local organic candle maker. So we had bundles. We were sold out on that. We are very grateful. We're very blessed that we had such a overwhelming response to that bundle. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, Wayne, that with this starter kit, it comes, our concept comes with unboxing. It was a time, I think we birthed this idea because everybody has been home for some time, and it's such a treat to receive a present, right? Who doesn't like to receive a gift? So we've packaged our kits to be like a gift box. So you don't just have to buy it to yourself. You don't have to limit your thoughts that, oh, I'm buying it for myself. You can gift it to your aunt or your mother, who's, you may not have seen for weeks, or like a friend that you're thinking of, that they can have this starter kit and come online, and you guys can connect and network and then be able to create something together. So that's our concept behind that, in creating the kits, that it comes in a beautiful carton box with lush satin ribbons, and it's like receiving a present. So I think that
Yeah.
was our, yeah. So it just doesn't
Yeah.
have to be buying it for yourself. You can buy it for your wife or for your daughter or for your neighbor, so
even
Yeah,
like
I hope
birthday present or even like festive season like Hari Raya is coming, and it can be, just give as a, the gift for some loved ones, right? I agree where you're coming from. Yeah, that's great. Okay,
yeah.
any last, pointers that you want to add on to our GoPasar community?
Um, I think thank you very much for your time today. This is our first, and I was nervous at the beginning, but I
No
think,
worries.
yeah, and I think
You
my
did well.
passion, yeah, thank you. I think our passion to share and be able to impart the right information to end consumers is our priority. So I think that kind of like put me in a more comfortable position where when I'm in my zone, when I'm in my flowers, that's where I thrive the best, to be able to share good tips so that people can enjoy flowers at their home. So I definitely look forward to having a bigger community or more people come on Saturday so we can spread more joy through flowers, and people could have their hand and they're not shy to work with flowers, and they could gift it to somebody or could do it with their children or like give it to a family member. Yeah. But thank you, Wayne, for this opportunity. I think it's been really fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and especially the first time we have this online when we are
Yes.
at different places, and but can still share with. Now we are actually like it's a new norm, in fact. So for everyone to learn online on some new stuff. Okay, so that's all from us today from GoPasar and Sing Si Soon. It was a pleasure with everyone here during this lunchtime. So we will see you all soon. Okay, on this
On
Saturday. See ya.
Saturday. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.